Hey. So welcome to Adobe Think Tank. It's great to be here. I am with Alix from NVIDIA. Alix, why don't you tell everybody who you are and just give 30 seconds on your role at NVIDIA and what you're doing there.
Terrific. I'm Alix Hart. I lead digital marketing in NVIDIA. We're a global organization. We support all of our regions around the world and all of the businesses around the world. So we have a massive PC gaming business where we target consumers, as well as our B2B and developer targeting to AI researchers, developers around the world.
Fantastic, that's wonderful, thank you. Listen, we've been hearing a lot last year and this year, incessantly hearing about artificial intelligence, and especially in the marketing technology arena. I've noticed as I analyze and report on marketing technology, that almost every single week there was a brand new AI solution that was being launched. Of course, fishing out which of those are real AI and which aren't has always been a little bit of a tricky subject. I mean, tell everybody what you consider AI versus maybe machine learning or statistics or data mining.
Exactly right. We see it too. There are a number of marketing tech startups and companies that are coming out and talking about AI, and it's become the buzzword of the year. And
Right.
And not every company truly is using what we would call deep learning or unsupervised learning to use AI to benefit kind of the marketing organization. And so we spend a lot of time really vetting some of the tools that we use. Really, from my perspective, any way that that a tool can use machine learning, or more likely deep learning, where you have massive data sets and you want to train a model to predict a certain outcome and behavior, or use things like natural language processing or computer vision in a way that can change an experience. Those are the categories where I think about how we're best using AI for marketing. But you're right, a lot of companies come and pitch an AI idea, and it really is a statistical model that are business rules based planning, and it's not really an AI tool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've now built up a suite, I presume, of AI tools and strategies and mechanisms and techniques that are working for you. What are some of the things you're doing with AI that are tangible?
Sure. So we have an inside data science team that is using unsupervised learning to model buying behavior, people who are more likely to churn, and use those models to feed into our segmentation strategies within the Adobe Experience Cloud. That's one of the first places where we've really been attacking using. We have supercomputers at NVIDIA, so we're able to kind of model at a great scale and really kind of understand what are those predictors of behavior, and build those propensity models in-house. That was the first place we started. We've also been spending a lot of time looking at sentiment analysis for social media.
Okay.
Our communities, the people that we really want to build brand experiences around and build outreach around, AI researchers, developers, video gamers, PC gamers, spend a lot of time in communities and forums and on social media sites. And I think we've had a real problem with identifying positive and negative sentiment, and so we've been building models that can better predict that as well.
That's fascinating. I've seen quite a lot of sentiment analysis tools, and frankly, none of them do a particularly good job.
No, it's an industry-wide problem.
Yeah, I mean, what are some of the biggest challenges there, and why is it so difficult?
Sure. Well, some of the topics and the categories that we care about, the industries that we, that we're spending a lot of time in, like healthcare or gaming, really can't predict sentiment at all in social media. So imagine, a tweet or a post that talks about how NVIDIA GPUs are being used in medical imaging to cure cancer or to identify cancer in patients.
Right.
Just the word cancer being in that tweet makes it appear negative.
Right.
Same thing in gaming, where someone talks about World of Warcraft or talks about Gears of War, and just the word war is kind of indicating sentiment. So there's really hasn't been a tool or a system that's able to look at the whole nature of the sentence and understand understand sentiment in a great way. And so we kind of we borrowed from some public research that was came from OpenAI, where researchers had identified the ability, it's called a sentiment neuron, to predict positive and negative sentiment. And our NVIDIA AI research team has taken that work and expanded on it, and looked at it at a scale where we can now use that to improve the accuracy. They've published the work, so it's kind of open source there, and we're hoping that more companies take advantage of it.
That's really good. I was just about to ask you about that, because you know what, having that is great. Being able to let everybody have that is even better, which is perfect. I want to dig into something you said a little bit in the last question. So you're using machine learning as well to predict churn. Now, when I've seen this in action before, machine learning to predict churn has always produced a really interesting sort of topographical map of different churn points across the customer journey. And when you compare that to, say, standard regression analysis, where it looks like you're going to lose the customer around about here, so then marketers generally start sending out messages just before this point, forgetting completely about all of the different churn points there are. So these topographical analysis, they look really interesting, and also can completely change your Marcom strategy and your outreach. How's that worked for you, and how can other people apply what you've done to their businesses?
Yeah, it's an absolute challenge. I don't think we're all the way there yet. I think the mapping the full journey and making sure that you have a full data set, I think, is where the biggest challenge is. And for any AI challenge, right, is about having an accurate data set to train the data or train the model on. And so what we're focused on is really understanding all of those touch points and building the predictive propensity model. When you get a score, I think one of the interesting things about AI is it can become a bit of a black box. Right. So we have a process with our models, and I don't know if this will fully answer your question, but we have this process with our models that is, as we build those propensity scores, then we try and test those in market, really see if those predictive scores can work for the types of content. Can we change behavior? Can we actually use that model to change the outcome? If that works, if we're starting to see momentum and that model can be put to good use, then we'll actually deploy it as an automated part of our system. So this, for churn analysis, I think that as well as lead scoring and kind of that broader B2B kind of predictive model, anything that requires a lot of different kind of moments in that journey, I think are going to be harder to solve and kind of dissect, but we're seeing real progress with the accuracy of those models.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alex.
You're welcome.
I'm just really glad that we have somebody who's not just using AI, but using AI in a tangible way and actually getting real business results from it. So thank you so much for sharing all your stories.
You're welcome. Well, I think we're just at the start of what's going to be a huge transformation for marketing.
Absolutely. And thank you to everyone for joining us at the Adobe Think Tank. Join the conversation online at #Adobe Summit. Thank you.